Okay, I'm Natalie Cower, and I'm the program director here at OurBridge.
Okay. So we have a couple questions for you. One beginning, what sets OurBridge apart from other after-school programs?
Sure. So I guess I'll start with how we're similar. So a lot of after-school programs in the United States that support low-income students or students who go to Title I schools receive a 21st Century grant. It's a federal grant that supports before and after-school programs. And that's one of the grants we receive. So I think that is where we're most similar to after-school programs that people would have at their schools or some different like localized ones. But I think that's pretty much where it ends. Our program is really specific to supporting a very specific type of student and family. Over 90% of our students are English language learners. That means that in their schools they have LEPs, which are documents and programs designed to help them with their English acquisition. And we are also geared towards supporting students and families who are creating or growing up in bicultural households. So that could be refugee families, immigrant families, students of immigrants, so first generation, then second generation. But all of our students speak more than one language, and all of our students have either come from another place or their families have come from another place. So that is what makes us super special.
Okay. And how does OurBridge help refugee and immigrant families beyond the 3-month window of government help?
Say it again.
Sorry. How does OurBridge help refugee and immigrant families beyond the 3-month window of government help?
Like during that 3-month window?
Mm-hmm. Or after the 3-month window? Yeah.
So I think that Charlotte is a first stop resettlement city, and basically what that means is that the federal government will place refugees at certain cities that have the capacity to support first stop refugees. And that usually means that families are placed here and sometimes they'll get placed somewhere else. And so it's kind of a temporary situation. Sometimes it's not. But that makes our work pretty transient. But during that 3-month period, let's say a family will come to Charlotte and one of our organizations here will set them up with an apartment, we'll enroll the child into school, make sure they have the right medical cards they need. And in that process, because we know them and they know us, they'll refer to our program. Okay. So while the student is enrolling in school and while the families are getting settled, we are part of that process of settlement. And I think that's like probably towards the beginning of the first the 90-day period. But during that 90-day period, it's basically a mad dash to get settled, to get jobs, to get clothes, to get your life in order. I think that sometimes people don't quite understand what it means to leave your home with absolutely nothing and start in a new place, not know the language, and have to be literally on your feet in 3 months, 90 days. I know college students who are English speakers and have all the resources in the world and can't get their feet settled in 90 days. Yeah. So I think that it's a really huge race. And so during that time, we try and set up our families with an art network to make sure that they know who they can reach out to after they're kind of just like let loose, to support them.
Yep. What do children need the most help with? Academics or their school development?
Or their what development?
School. Social development.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like a chicken or the egg situation. So a lot of our students, especially refugees who come from places of war or the refugee camps in general, have actually never been to any type of traditional schooling. This is what they call disrupted schooling. It's a huge problem because not only are you trying to learn, but when you grow up in the United States, you go to school and you know there are things. There's a schedule. You raise your hand in class. You know where the cafeteria is. You know how to use the bathrooms. You know how to lock the doors in the bathrooms. These are all like societal conditioning that if you grow up here, you just know. So students, when they get here and they don't have any clue of how to be in school or what school is, that can be enormously traumatizing, very, very difficult. And so I think in a lot of ways, getting them to helping them feel safe and helping them feel like they have some power over their own lives, really leads to like acclimation into school. They're not going to be able to just like walk into school and like take a standardized test. Like there are hundreds and hundreds of steps before that. And so what we do here is we try and just talk to them about those things that, like, you know, when you have to go to the bathroom in school, you have to raise your hand, and when you go in, you do all these things. And I guess maybe that's a social piece, but it's also conditioning. It's not really about manners. It's not about language. It's just like, these are the things you do when you're at school. And once kids get that going and start feeling comfortable and safe in those routines, then we can start working on all the other things. Because like not only will kids like not like have very limited English, they have very limited schooling in their own language.
Yeah.
So it's different.
Okay. How do you notice that?
On 4.
Yeah.
How does OurBridge work with the Carolina Refugee Resettlement Agency?
Yeah. So kind of like what I said with the process, the Carolina Refugee Resettlement Agency, they place families, they secure housing, and they are one of our biggest referrals. So we work very closely with them to make sure that families who qualify for our program can have spots here and transportation and things like that. So, and I think also a lot of refugee families, they, in areas of conflict, come from minority ethnic groups, even within their own country. So, for example, in Myanmar, we have refugees that come from Myanmar/Burma who are actually minority groups like that speak Chin and Karen, and so these are very, very, very hard to find languages of already marginalized people. So that we help each other with you know, do you know this translator? Do you know this translator? How can we get this? You know, things like that. We all, I think we've also in the past like written each other. I think she actually wrote a letter of recommendation for us for like a grant or something. A while ago, I think that was them. That stuff like that. Scratch your back, scratch yours, kind of thing.
Okay, 5. What is a need that OurBridge has that the Charlotte community could help with?
Are you talking like metaphorically or like literally?
Well, I mean both. Like,
okay.
If y'all could have like something that the community around us could help more.
Yeah. So. I mean, there are about 13,000 children in Charlotte who qualify for our program, and we support about 150. So, on that, our biggest challenges are transportation. So, more vans and more drivers. So, we always need drivers. We always need vans, because our students come here after school. You know, we are responsible to take them home at night, and currently we spend about 3 hours every night just trying to get our kids home, just because we only have 2 vans, 150 kids. So that's a very literal need. We always need people to come to the center. One of the biggest issues we face, volunteers want to come and hang out with the kids. They want to come, they want to read to the sweet little babies, especially the kindergartners. They all want to do that. It's very sweet. I get it. It's awesome. But we need people to come to our center at 8 o'clock in the morning, bring coffee, and do the 20 loads of laundry that we have to do so we can donate clothes to our families. We need people who are willing to do the like not glamorous, not Instagram worthy stuff to keep our center going.
Right.
That's what we need. But it's a hard sell to come and do 20 loads of laundry.
Yeah.
But we need it. I mean, we've got literally loads right now in the closet. Because we get donations and we wash them and sort them so we can distribute them to families. But we only have a couple full-time staff, so it's hard.
Yeah. How has OurBridge grown over the years?
Well, we started as a teeny tiny kind of one-room program in Plaza Midwood with about 40 kids. And now we have 150. We added a middle school, and we have this fantastic building. We have a really fantastic relationship with Aldersgate. They rent us the building for about $1 a year, which is, I mean, you can't even. Yeah. It's just the most amazing gift and support. And we continue to grow by, creating our own curriculum, finding really highly qualified people for really important positions. And we're currently eyeing at opening a second site next, this fall of 2020. So we're really hoping to expand more, so more room, more kids.
Good.
Yeah.
What is the best advice you can give to parents that have children who are going to soon outgrow or graduate from like OurBridge?
That's a good question. Never been asked that question. So we have a, once you're a Bridge kid, you're always a Bridge kid. Mm-hmm. So we always welcome all of our families back for all of our events. We have students that once they're in high school will come back and then volunteer. Stay connected to us, even though your kids aren't in this program. If you still need someone, you need a lawyer, or you need a translator, or you need parenting classes, like, they can come to us. We're always there for them. Mm-hmm. To be honest, I think the biggest thing that our parents could probably do is really invest in looking at school options for their kids. So, looking at magnet lotteries and charter schools and schools that really fit their kids versus the schools that our kids are slated to go to that do not really have the resources or mission or vision to support them in the way I think they need it. And so I would give advice to parents to just find some options for their kids, and really pick a school and try your hardest to pick a school rather than having a school pick you.
Okay.
So last one, what is the best advice you can give to the people in the Charlotte community that want to help immigrant and refugee populations in Charlotte?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think one of the most important things to do when thinking about how to help a marginalized group of people is not put the ownership on the marginalized group to teach you or show you how to help them. I think especially if you're thinking about well-educated white Charlotteans, they need to put the work in to educate themselves. Showing up to our orientation here and going through our orientation and hanging out with our kids all day, we do not have the capacity to teach you classes on on the refugee experience or all the different wars that are going that bring people to Charlotte. So we have a really fantastic book list online that we try and give to our community partners to just read. Have your monthly book club, pick a book about refugees and immigrants to read. I brought these two. I think they're fantastic. This is one from our adult book list, Seeking Refuge. This is primarily about the migrants that are coming from Central America and the violence and persecution they're facing there. And this, another great way is building empathy and knowledge in their kids. So, I read to my children every single night. And I really try and make an effort to read them stories about kids that are not like them or kids who experience different things than them. Yeah. So this, Two White Rabbits, is actually, it's a children's story about a little girl and her dad seeking refuge in the United States. And it's really, really powerful and amazing. And it's kind of one of those things where, kids watch The Lion King and they're like, this is a great movie. And adults watch it and we're crying on the ground. Yeah. It's kind of like that. And I would encourage parents to not shy away from topics of immigration and refuge and loss with their kids, and really try and make sure that our next generation of Charlotteans, whether they're refugees, immigrants, born here, whatever, have the experiences and tools and vision to be empathetic neighbors.
So more educated.
Yes.
Growing to be more educated.
Totally. Also, unrestricted funding is really nice. So lots of grants come with very specific things. Here's $50,000, but you can only use it for blank. Nonprofits are always looking for ways to we know, what our center needs, and we know what will help us run the best. So unrestricted funding is basically here's a check, do what you know you need is the best kind of money. Yeah. Because it really supports our, anything we need, right? So those are education, educate yourselves, get involved, make it a family affair, get your friends to do it, and come hang out, read the books, come hang out. Yeah.
Well, that is all the questions that we have for
Great.
you. So thank you so much for doing this for us.
You're so welcome. Good luck.
Thank you.